This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional advice. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of their affiliated organizations.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Ready to Connect podcast. I'm Heather.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Ryan.
And get ready to strap in. We're going to touch base with Missouri, Iowa, and Idaho.
No, you were right the first time. It was
I
Iowa.
was right the first time. And what are you doing, Lisa?
Illinois.
Illinois. All right. Well, today we're going to touch in with some rich tapestry of Erie-filled stories, and we're going to talk about the tragic histories and whispered legends that are all around the United States. So I'm going to jump in right with Missouri. And Haunted Missouri was quite interesting. There were so many places. It's really hard to go state to state and narrow down like which ones are the dynamic campfire lore, and it's really hard to kind of pinpoint which taboo story you want to use and which legend, and of course the ghostly women. But out of the 9 that I found down there in Missouri, which I have never been to Missouri, have any of you?
No.
I have. I've been to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was looking all around, looking up Missouri, and Missouri's full of history of a blended kind of settlement energy, Civil War energy. There's a lot of like history around Missouri where it's all based around like war slaughter, which is unfortunate. Obviously, there's a huge indigenous pathway that is all seeded throughout Missouri, and plenty of hauntings, plenty of tragic tales of death and grief, and just simply eerie structures. And of course, every state that we're looking at does seem to have that former prisons that are haunted and mansions and cemeteries and whatnot. And Missouri's no different. One of the notable haunted locations I was looking at was actually in St. Louis, Lisa. It's the Lemp Mansion. And it was built in 1869. And it was known that the Lemp brewing family was very wealthy during the 1800s. And it is said that multiple members of this family took their own lives because of the fortune of the family collapsing. And so because of this, in the early 1900s, coming out of the 1800s, the mansion saw at least 3 to 4 confirmed suicides from different generations of the family. Plus, there's just this tragic lore. And I felt so bad because this story comes with something that always really kind of punches my gut. And that is the hidden child in the attic. And, we understand, obviously, that era, nobody knew what to do with someone who had an individual that had any form of handicaps, right? Whether it was Down syndrome, and I'm sure there was autism back in that day, but they didn't obviously know what all of those different functioning motor skill functions were when they didn't work properly, right? So this story talks about how the child lingers, does come out of the attic, and it will come down. So people do report when they go and visit the Lemp family mansion that, they see the shadow figure of this child from the attic. They hear the footsteps of a child running down. But there's also other voices apparently that are happening in this mansion where they're disembodied. And everyone that goes into this home, if you sit quietly, they're all saying that you can see apparitions in the different various rooms, including the basement, which basements are not my thing. So, but
much like the dolls. Nobody.
Yeah, dolls, clowns, basements go right up there.
Understandable. Yeah.
Especially dirt basements. I don't know. There's just something about when you crack that door open and the dampness hits your face and you're like, and the stairs are creaking. It's like the full setup of the horror movie. Yeah.
Right.
But apparently paranormal people who have gone in and have explored this call it the gates of hell. And especially when you go to the third floor attic. But if everybody knows Lisa and I and Ryan, we don't kind of buy into the gates of hell stuff.
Yeah.
But you can go there. It's actually a restaurant now. It's an
Oh.
inn. It's also a ghost tour site. So I
Mhm.
wonder if some of this gets a little hyped up just because it is a ghost tour, right?
Sure.
Especially around Halloween. But they do say that psychics go in there and they are common guests there, and they continue to report unexplained phenomena. People do say they feel an unseen presence tugging at blankets at night, often interpreted as the children spirits, kind of coming down from the attic and whatnot. So I guess this might be like a cross of maybe intellectual residual. Sounds a lot more residual to me, but maybe because, someone is reporting that there's that whole feeling of the sheets being pulled and stuff. Maybe there is some intelligence there, but a lot of this says to me that there's a lot of residual energy that's left there for people to see and, go and interact with, even though it's not going to interact with you. But it's pretty cool. And then we kept moving, and of course, you have the Missouri State Penitentiary, right? That's just going to be full of
Yeah.
Doors gonna have stuff, no problem. Yeah.
Absolutely.
People notoriously say like it was one of the toughest maximum security prisons in Missouri. And of course, being a prison, it has that long history of violence and executions and stuff. So lots of, empty rooms full of shadow figures, empty hallways with like voices that are completely anguished. The paranormal investigators completely 100% say that this is all intellectual. It will interact with you. It is a public access place. You can go on ghost tours overnight there. There is a schedule they put out for it. So like if you're really into having maybe the bejesus, scared out of you, this might be the prison or any prison. But yeah, did find, that there was the Pythian Castle, which is in Springfield, Missouri. And its original use back in 1913 was an orphanage. And it was the Knights of Pythias retreat, and then it later became a prisoner of war hospital. So you can imagine this castle has seen so much different styles of tragedy. First off, having orphan children, and that energy itself is so hard. You get orphans who long for a family, long for love. So there's a lot of emotional chaos that goes into the energy that's into this castle.
Not to mention, but I think even the past orphanages, sometimes those children weren't treated well.
They weren't. They were locked in. They were left in their cribs. And I mean, obviously, this is back in the 1900s, where 1800s, 1900s, where we don't have all the laws we have here, right? Like, there's just you can see where we've progressed in protecting our little ones, and even orphans today don't receive that kind of care, or nor do our individuals that are handicapped receive the same care that they would have received in the 1900s because it was so misunderstood. But you can go there. It is a full place where you can do tours, appointments are you can catch the disembodied laughter and the footsteps, and apparently someone walks around whistling, which is claimed to be one of the military men or women, because it was also a hospital, so you would have had military nurses and presence there of triage. But in this castle, it is reported a lady in white
There you
So
go.
she
Oh,
will be going on our board, and she is an apparition who actually poses for photographs, apparently.
really?
Now
Wow.
that I would like. That I
That's
would love. I love capturing, right?
that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, none of the reports so far have said that directly, like that she will actually pose in your picture for you.
Hmm.
So if anybody from Missouri is listening and has captured the white lady in your pictures, please, 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 I would love to see that, and I know my co-host would love to see that. So, but definitely, she roams the night, and she is said to keep the castle kind of lively, kind of like always letting that energy kind of zip through and whatnot. So it's pretty cool. Then there's Zombie Road, right? I love the names they give this stuff.
I love it too. Yeah.
Do we have a
That
Zombie
means
Road?
I
I
don't
don't
know,
know.
but maybe we can there's got to be some road that has apparitions that we can rename Zombie Road.
Yes. Yes. And Zombie Road is actually the Lawler Ford Road in St. Louis County, in Missouri. Which, did you go to Zombie Road, Lisa, when you were there?
No, when I was in St. Louis the first time, I was teaching, and I went there for a national science and math teachers kind of convention thing. And then the second time I went was more recently with my husband. We were doing the whole road trip to different baseball stadiums, and of course, we went to St. Louis and saw the Cardinals. So I
Yeah.
did not go. This trip was not one of those trips where I actually did a ghost walk or see a haunted place. Shocker, I know, because it seems like many of the places, at least up in the area closest to us, I have. But no, this is not one of them.
Not one of them, huh?
No.
And you haven't found a Zombie Road yet, right, Ryan?
Not yet. No.
I don't know, but that sounds like a future Waiting in London song, like
Yeah, there you
Zombie
go.
Road.
Yep. Yep. There you go.
He's already
Cranberries,
because
right?
you said that he's already started writing lyrics in his head. You
Yep.
can see it going.
Yep.
When I read that, all I could hear was the Cranberries, the zombie
Oh, there
song.
you
So.
go. Yep. Yep.
But so I guess this is nicknamed the Zombie Road because it's back. It started back in, actually, this started in the earliest story started back in the mid 20th century. So I don't know if this is as old as some of the other stuff we're looking at, but it's nicknamed for ghostly sightings. It includes shadow figures walking down the road and discolored. Now, here's one: discolored apparitions. Not a specific woman, not specifically a man, just discolored apparitions. And I tried to narrow that down. Were they gray? Were they white? Were they pink, blue? What were going on? Fortunately, I wasn't able to find an actual, what the quote discolored apparitions is, but apparently they
Like
all look.
dirty or something?
Yeah,
Like they were
right.
dirty or something? I don't know.
Huh.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a dirt road. I don't know. But apparently this is an abandoned road near an old railroad crossing, and stories date back about.
Abandoned roads near railroad crossing sounds like a horror flick to me.
Yeah.
It does. It
Yeah.
does.
That's the
It
perfect
does.
setting right there.
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the machete to come out of the air, right?
Mm.
But I would think some of this lore is attached to the local trains and spirits walking among the woods at night is another recall that is going on here at the Zombie Road. And it's an actual road apparently, but it is closed to cars after dark because of safety concerns, obviously. And so all the reports I read about Zombie Road just say, you exercise your caution if you're going to go explore this. There was so many to choose from. It was really hard to kind of nail it down. But the one last one I'll talk about is Vale Mansion. And Vale Mansion is one of the places that got spoken about heavily when you're doing research for Missouri. So Vale Mansion is kind of said that Vale is an actual person. Her name was Sophia Vale, and she is the ghostly woman that haunts the halls of this mansion. And Sophia is reported to be seen peeking out from the windows, kind of like that child energy, we see. I love when we drive around to like historical sites and you can always see like, people peeking out the windows. Do you guys do that? Do you drive around, and when you get to like the older parts of towns, do you look up in the windows to see if you can see anyone? Or am I the only one?
Not when driving, only because it goes too fast. But if I'm walking or near old houses and they look like they're dark, yeah, I look up. And whenever we do ghost walks or whatever, I'm always checking out the windows because, you get so many accounts of people saying apparitions are looking out windows or stuff like that.
Yeah.
When I drive by old houses and whatnot, I just enjoy just what it looks like. Like I'm rarely looking at the windows, but now that you're mentioning this, I'm gonna have to look at the windows.
I have to look at the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ryan, too. When we do historical, when we look at historical buildings, the craftsmanship that is so rich, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the detail orientated, right down to like just the statues on the house or the beams on the house. Like architecture is definitely not built that way in this day and age. And so there's an art there, and it feels almost like some of that art is getting lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't put that kind of stuff into our homes anymore.
Yeah. And actually in Rockville, up where your recording studio is and stuff, the homes that are around up there, some of those older homes are just really kind of neat, the architecture. Usually I'm driving and my eyesight's so bad to sit and focus, I'd probably get in an accident. But
oh no, let's not do that. I'll drive you.
I do. Yeah, I do appreciate looking at the buildings and the homes for sure, but to focus on a window, not going to happen when I'm driving.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, Sophia said that she loved her Victorian era clothing. Whoop, whoop. So she has said that she lurks around the mansion wearing classical black Victorian era clothing, and she is said to be not just residuals. She will appear in full attire. She's not taking pictures with you, but she is sighted, and she does seem to have kind of a reverence for like the public. So she likes to be around the storytellers. She likes to be around the people who come into the mansion to tour, and she likes to interact with them. So yeah, I definitely would like to see that or get a picture of that. Obviously I always find that very fascinating when we can document and give them their story back, right? Give back that apparition their tragedy and let someone hear that tragedy so it can heal. But yeah, there was a lot of, tapestry that kind of wove all throughout Missouri. And there were several other places that, obviously incorporated the folklore, the paranormal, but the tragedies, the real tragedies of the Native history there, the tragedies of the war-torn kind of ground that was soaked in blood there. But definitely not on the first of my road trip list, but definitely if we have to drive through there, would definitely love to check out some of the rich history of haunted Missouri. So with that being said, if anybody out there listening has pictures or a book they can recommend, we would love to hear from you. And I'm going to pass the baton on over to you, Ryan. What'd you do?
Well, I did Iowa, but first, I'm curious. We're talking about, spirits posing for photos and everything. I wonder if Gregory, the spirit in our studio, would be interested in, taking a photo. Perhaps we didn't ask him, so we might have to ask permission.
Try.
Yeah.
All right. Well, when it's not 30 degrees in your office, we will meet there.
Yes. Yep.
Or when the road is covered in ice.
That too.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the accidents this morning because of the roads covered in ice? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's weird to hear it falling all off the trees, because last night it looked like a winter wonderland out here. All the trees were like encased with ice, and when I got up this morning, you could hear it all falling. It's a sound that it's a sound that's unexplainable, but it's like it makes you stop for a second and like really just take a reverence of like, wow, it was so beautiful. All the trees looked like quartz crystals.
Mm.
Especially here from my view, I can see the lake from my view.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the frozen lake, and then you just have all these trees around the lake just crystalline, and it's quite a scene. It's quite a scene. But anyways, Ryan, what'd you find?
So I agree with you. It is a scene, and when it melts, it just sounds like it's raining constant. It actually sounds like a rain stick. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
It does. It does.
yeah, because the dog Watson, he was nervous about going outside this morning because of that sound. So I can only imagine it's probably louder for him. But so anyway, so in Iowa, I was curious if there was anything going on with cornfields, but I couldn't find any like hauntings, in cornfields really. It's mostly that people are setting up, like fun activities for kids to do in cornfields, things like
Haunted
that.
corn mazes and things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, but
You're
So
kind of hoping for a zombie cornfield, right? That's
exactly,
what you're hoping.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
is that where they filmed If You Build It, They Will Come? That movie, what was that movie?
Field of
Way back,
Dreams.
Field of
Field of
Dreams. Oh my God, we're so dating ourselves right now.
I mean, I don't know. There's definitely a cornfield in that, so
Yeah, and the ghost came out, right? They played baseball.
yeah.
It wasn't real, huh?
No. So I couldn't find any ghosts coming out of cornfields, or even I think of that movie Signs. I love that movie. There
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
any
Yep.
wasn't any aliens coming out of cornfields. So like,
Damn,
Nothing.
ah,
damn, I'm
Okay.
sad about that.
I know. I was like, this is a missed opportunity here. Like, so, but I,
We had a false kind of, premonition about what's going on over there. We're totally wrong.
yeah, yeah.
So where are all the ghosts if they're not in the cornfields of Iowa?
Well, I mean that's a valid question. So basically, one of the places I found it's actually a schoolhouse. It's called Farrer Schoolhouse, or often called Farrer School. I may be pronouncing that incorrectly, but it's a former rural school building in Iowa, Farrer, Iowa. It became one of the state's best known haunted locations. It was built in the 1920s, operated for 80 years before finally closing in 2001, 2002. Basically, it was constructed on farmland, so there's that. So, um,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, basically, yeah, it just closed just because they're moving the students to more local district facilities. But let's see. But there's a lot of paranormal activity happening there. For instance, there's a little boy in the stairwell. So he's actually, yeah, seen in the stairwells. Witnesses see a child-sized figure standing or walking on the steps, suddenly disappearing. Then some witnesses have reported hearing footsteps or giggles near the area when no one else is present. They also hear children's laughter and voices, sometimes sounding like that the children are playing or even reciting lessons. That's been picked up on recordings. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's also a tall, shadowy figure, sometimes described as a former principal or a school authority, because they tend to be in that area where the principal's office was or the authority office was. And then in the boiler room and gym area, they're saying that that's a hot spot for paranormal activity here. But they hear voices, footsteps, noises. Sometimes they say that a spirit, or some people say that a spirit of a former caretaker or janitor may linger there, just because you can hear jingling keys or tools. So I found that interesting. But yeah, so that's the schoolhouse. Then there's also the Ruth Ann Dodge Memorial, also known as the Black Angel statue. So basically, this is near the entrance of Fairview Cemetery in Council Bluffs, Iowa. It's basically created to honor Ruth Ann Dodge, who was the wife of a Civil War general. and railroad pioneer Grenville M. Dodge. But it's one of the most photographed and talked about landmarks in this area.
So can I interject?
Sure.
What is she called? What is the statue called? The Black what?
The Black Angel statue.
How did they was there any history of why she's the Black Angel statue?
Yes, basically because over time it was originally created in bronze, but because over time it oxidized and now it looks darker. It looks black. So that's why. Yeah.
Okay.
But they're saying that, see, I don't know if either of you would want to go see this though, because they're saying that when you go to see her, the eyes will follow you wherever you go. I don't know. Is that creepy like a doll? I don't know.
It's not a statue. The statue can't like get up and run after you like a doll could. So I'd be okay with that.
You'd be okay with that, Lisa? Okay. What about you, Heather?
Yeah.
No?
Well, I would have to stand there and make eye contact with this. If it's going to follow me, like, it better follow me for a good reason. Like, it better look at me.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you stare too long, I'm going to get the EBGBs and then I'm out.
Yeah. Yep.
You're going to make me feel so self-conscious.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, it's like all those, like, portraits in the old mansions and stuff where they say it feels like they're watching you and following you, the eyes that follow you around in different castles and stuff like that. And, it's a little creepy, but, it's attached to the wall. It can't come out and grab you, but,
True.
So I imagine, if the statue was to get up and start walking around, that'd be different, but.
My paranormal days would probably be over if a statue came detached and started walking. Right? Check me in, Institute of Living, here I come.
Right.
All I can remember and think about is, what was the statue that had the lady? Oh gosh, now I'm not going to remember. It was down in Sleepy Hollow, the one that would sit by her husband's tomb.
Yes.
What was it? The brass lady or whatever. And she was known to, or her spirit anyway, to get up and walk around the cemetery. Can't imagine the statue did, but at least her ghost spirit did. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. People are saying that if you try to take pictures of the statue, at times like your phones or cameras malfunction, die, or you lose the footage. They also see orbs, lights showing up in the photos taken nearby the statue. So I found that interesting. But then also they say, if you go there at night, now they're saying that the statue moves or flies around the cemetery, or her eyes glow red or seem more intense.
Now we're different. You didn't say that before.
Now we're out. We're out. Come on. It sounds like a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
I mean, I've witnessed that too, where it's like it's a statue or a painting, and you feel like it's following you around the room type of thing.
Yeah, totally.
Like that's I get that, but I don't know if I believe that it's going to get up and walk around or fly. I don't know.
It's giving me the vibes of that movie Night at the Museum.
Yeah,
where the different displays and stuff come to life and the statues come to life. When all the patrons leave and they're roaming the museum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
You see, I think if it was roaming around or flying around, maybe you stop and you say, okay, what do you need to say? Maybe it's trying to find somebody to talk to, and everybody keeps running away from it.
Okay. So, yeah, it'd be intriguing if one of our listeners happens to be there
and gets a video of the statue. Yeah.
Definitely want to know what's going on. I agree with you, Lisa. Why is it flying around? What do they need to say? So
there's either going to be a lot of alcohol involved afterwards, or or me getting on a plane as fast as possible.
Yeah. Yep.
Just like in Missouri, right? I don't know. She wants to pose with me. That's great, but let me see you before you pose with me because I'm going to turn around and be like, what the?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And honestly, how many of you've been somewhere where like you actually do feel like you're being watched? I know it happens quite often for
All the time.
me.
All the time. Yeah, all the
Yeah.
time.
But
Yeah.
nobody's ever come out of the like woodwork or off the statue or yeah, I've never had like
Hands
this.
don't come out of the walls and grab at you, or
I
Yeah.
you
know.
know. Of course,
Oh,
now that's all I'm going to think about when I walk near a picture. Is their hand going to reach out and grab me, or is if I walk by a statue, are you going to start to? Do you have wings? Are you going to fly? Or
I guess
when?
now we're
When was the latest like sighting of that? Like, or is it just like a legend that the statue comes to life and flies?
I think it's a legend. Yeah.
Okay, so the probability of it actually being reality,
Hmm.
is probably, if it's not a recent sighting, or at least in the 1980s, 90s, or something like that.
Yeah. You know,
yeah, but who are we to say it's not happening, right? It could
right.
be. Someone could have had this
It
experience. We don't know them. This is a totally different state that I've never been to. I don't know about you, Lisa and Ryan.
Nope.
No,
no.
never had a reason to come and visit there. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we do.
Yeah, now we do. Yep.
Now we do. Yeah, because like, yeah. If I gotta get practice with the ghost coming with the statues, we gotta get busy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's a
But
whole different level of what we do.
yeah, yeah, I
Very
know.
cool. So what else did you find,
Yeah.
Ryan?
Well, the last thing that I found here was the Franklin Hotel. It's in Strawberry Point, Iowa. So I was like, okay, this seems like a friendly hotel, like friendly
That seems
place.
like a lovely town to visit.
Yeah,
Strawberry Point sounds like a Hallmark movie town.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Yep.
I'd go there.
It was built in 1902, opened in 1903. It's a Victorian era hotel operating for well over a century. And let's see. So, yeah, it was originally constructed to serve travelers arriving by railroad and then highway. And it has like all the antique furnishings, grand staircases. Like it sounds like a really nice place. I think we all would enjoy it just by walking in there. Uh, but but they also have some spirits that reside in there. So there is this spirit named Lily, who is also known as the Woman in Lavender, and I don't
Ooh.
think we've had that.
Hey, we
I
got
don't.
a
Yeah,
purple. Yay.
yeah. So
The
she's
things that make
actually.
us happy right now. It's like, what color? What color?
I know. Yeah, I know. When I saw that, I was like, oh, I gotta do that. I gotta do this. All right. So
Gotta do it.
so she's the most frequently mentioned spirit in this in the Franklin Hotel. Often described as wearing a lavender or old fashioned dress, and it kind of looks like the styles of 1920s, which makes sense. She's mostly seen walking in the halls or staircase late at night. Let's see, yeah. So
The
they
1920s,
yeah
that would
1920s.
be like the whole frapper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Era where
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
everything
yep.
kind of had the fringe and the headbands, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a little more risque than the Edwardian period. That's cool. I could envision that. I could envision that with the big gloves up to the armpits. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Elegant, elegant.
Right, right. They've seen her like in the lobby or wandering through the hallways. She's often sighted in room number 7. So that's when objects move on their own, TV switches on and off. It just feels like that she's there. But yeah, visitors are wondering, doing research as to who she was. They said, she may have lived there, worked at the hotel, but she clearly has a connection to it. Another spirit there, his name is Leo, and he's called the bell ringing spirit. So male spirit named Leo. He's linked to someone who has worked there, and he's usually around in the laundry or service area. And then many guests and workers claim that they hear the old hotel's old bell system ring on its own at night, which was used, before telephones, used to signal rooms for services. And basically, no one's there to ring it, but they think that Leo is the one ringing the bell, and he's just like a friendly presence, just wanting to answer guests' requests and questions, I suppose. So,
As long as he's not ringing that bell at like 3 o'clock in the morning,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
you can hit that bell, you can hit that bell 9 to 5, but after that, like
yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe they
Heather
have,
needs her sleep.
yeah,
Heather needs her sleep. No 3 a.m. bell ringing.
after 11 p.m., I better not hear no bells when I'm trying to sleep.
yeah,
Shut
seriously.
up!
I know. That's got to be something. Yeah, I wouldn't want to hear that either. Like,
Of course, it is going to be at that time. You
yeah,
realize
Yeah,
that.
of course,
yeah,
I mean,
of
it's
course.
going to be at that time. So if you're going for the haunting part of it, you just know to sleep the day and stay awake at night. That's just the way
Sure,
it is.
suck it up, Heather. Come on,
Yep.
quit being a buttercup.
Yep.
I got it.
That's what you gotta do. Pull up those big girl panties. Yep.
but
All right. So we got some bell ringing going
yeah,
on.
got some bell ringing. Yeah, I know, Heather. Now I'm starting to think. I don't know if this is a good place for us to go to because we'll just be hearing a bunch of
No,
stuff.
because
But
if he's ringing bells at 3 a.m., he better bring me a cup of coffee because
Yeah.
I'm not even human.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
This is where being not very clairaudient is beautiful.
yeah,
You know, I'm just going to get the feels and get the nose, and I don't necessarily have to hear the bell ringing.
Yeah, and then
that's
there's
true.
me and Ryan who are just like, stop already.
The bell would be like across the hotel. We'd be hearing it and be like, "Really? Like,
Yeah,
like you're
Really?
doing this?"
Really?
knocking on Ryan's hotel room. Do you hear that shit?
Yeah, yeah. But the place does seem pretty cool. They see other figures in old-fashioned clothing from that time period walking through the hallways, standing briefly in doorways. But also, I think this is the coolest part. A few guests have reported hearing an antique piano playing by itself in the hotel's dining area. I was like,
Yeah, this sounds
That's
very
awesome.
similar to one I'm going to be reporting on. It
Okay.
sounds very similar,
Okay.
music and stuff. I'll get to mine
Well,
later,
I
but
mean, if you
that's
think
cool.
about it, right? Like the
Yeah.
20s, they had those big, long cigarette holders. They all had their, like, that really flashy kind of beaded garb,
Mhm.
the smoky lounge, which is kind of big around here in Connecticut right now. I can think of 6 places right now in Connecticut that market themselves as a speakeasy. So you actually have to do like the coded knock, or you have to go through a secret passageway. So this feels very like speakeasy lounge coming,
Yeah.
atmosphere. Definitely.
Yeah. So maybe the antique piano playing that just outweighs the bell ringing. I don't know.
Oh, Ryan.
Dollars to donuts. I will hear the piano playing, but
Yeah.
I won't hear the bell ringing. I'll get the good stuff.
And it's amazing because as a clairaudient, right, Ryan, as clairaudience, even if we were to stick earplugs in our ears, we're still going to hear it. Like, we're still
Yeah.
going to hear it. So you have to do this whole, well, you can't beat them, so we're just going to have to join them, which means when we go on this road trip, we're going to be very sleep deprived.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Sleep during the day, man. Sleep during the day.
There you go.
Wake it-
There you go.
Mm.
But yeah, but
All
that's
right.
that's what I found in Iowa. So if any of our listeners have been to any of these places or witnessed anything, it'd be fantastic to hear about it. But yeah, so I'm especially intrigued if there's anything going on in cornfields.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
apparently we had the whole misconception that like
Yeah.
the cornfields were haunted out there, and they're not.
No,
They're not.
no,
Or at
no.
least as much as we know they're not. Yeah.
True,
Yeah.
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Lisa, what did you find?
In Illinois, well, I mean, it'd be easy just to go to Chicago, Illinois, with the great fire that happened there. You could find a lot of hauntings and stuff. So I decided to take a different tack and see what I could find outside the Chicago area. And I did find this really interesting place. It's called the Original Springs Hotel in Okawville, Illinois. So I don't know if you've ever been to like a mineral springs resort or bathhouse or anything like that, where you soak in mineral water. I happened to do one of those out in Saratoga Springs, New York, and it was absolutely lovely. But let me tell you the little history of this hotel. As it goes, in 1868, there was a tinsmith named Rudolph Pledge, I think. And he opened a bathhouse in this area because he noticed the high mineral content in the water. And I think it's rumored or said that some woman who suffered from rheumatism soaked in this water and she was cured. So he
Oh.
opened the first bathhouse. In 1884, there was a woman named Anna Shearbaum. She basically had a disability of some kind, which would have been termed invalid back in the day. And she claimed that the mineral water fixed all of her ailments. And she was so taken with this that in 1887, Easter Sunday, her and her husband opened a hotel there, which was the original Springs Hotel. Of course, this hotel had a fire, and then rebuilt in 1893. And it had its share of tragedies. There were 3 hotel owners who died by suicide. The first being Ben, who was the son of Anna. And when Anna and her husband passed, of course, this hotel was inherited by their son Ben, who suffered heartbreak and is said to have committed suicide because of the heartbreak. The second owner that committed suicide, his name was Conrad Pabin, I think. And he took over the hotel in 1920. And that's when Great Depression got really worse for the area, for the hotel, everything. And so mental illness took hold of him, and it is said that he took his life because of that.
Wow.
And then the third owner, his name was Tom Rogers, and it is said that he enjoyed the hotel so much that it became an obsession of his.
Really?
Not only did he own it, but he was obsessed, and he would walk the halls all day, basically to the extent of ruining some of the guests' experiences there because, I guess, of his constant presence. I don't know.
Wow. That's
now interesting enough. Yeah, right. I mean, we all love our business and stuff, but to be obsessed to the point where maybe he was just into everybody's space, I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, he was found dead in room 350. And there was no explanation, no struggle. He had no struggle with depression. That was least documented. And so they just wrote his death off as suicide.
But the way you say that,
yeah,
you think that maybe there was more than natural causes at play there?
I have no idea. There was nothing that I found in my research to indicate anything, just that he was found dead. My guess is maybe he just died.
Yeah.
You know how people
because
suddenly
if he
die.
loved it, yeah, because if he loved it so much, why would he,
Well, he obsessively loved it. So there was something, a little OCD that would harken to some sort of mental issue happening, but no explanation, no written documentation that I could find. With my, top-notch researching skills. Anyway, but these are the experiences that can be had at the original Springs Hotel in Oakville, Illinois. So the staff there will report that items will be moved around behind their backs. So they put something down, turn around, go back, and it's moved someplace else. They also have reported seeing apparitions. The third floor has its share of issues there. The guests on the third floor will hear loud bangs outside their door in the middle of the night. So there you go. Some more sounds for you guys to hear. Yep. Some say that they've been locked in rooms, but with no locks on them. Rooms that have no locks on them, but they get locked into them.
Really?
So that's kind of creepy. Like, how do you
how
get
does
locked
that
in?
go? The room doesn't have a lock. I go to open the door, and the door is not going to open.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. Now, think if it's a hotel room, it's going to have a lock on it because it's a hotel room, obviously.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, you can go here, you can stay here, but so these must be rooms that are like, closets or whatever, and they don't open. They get locked in rooms.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
So in room, there's an unsettling feeling at the end of the third floor hallway staircase. People have reported. Now, room 350 being on the third floor, there is a report of a guest feeling as if someone was pressing down on her legs. So much so was the experience so intense that she immediately left the hotel, packed up and left.
Wow.
So now you would think that might be Tom Rogers, who died in room 350, but the apparition or ghost that is mostly aligned with room 350 is, you guessed it, a lady in white.
Oh.
She is seen around the building, especially in room 350. She is dressed in a flowy dress with a large hat. She's been seen in the office, in the hallways, in this particular guest room. She's regularly seen on the second floor balcony, but the face is hidden by the hat. She stands at the ends of guest beds. So how would you like that?
No.
She's probably the one pressing on the legs.
If I'm sleeping, you should not be messing with me.
See, now being the clairsentient of the group, I'm going to feel her standing at the end of my bed. I get that all the time when I know there's someone in my room when I'm sleeping, and I feel them. They're just waiting there, and it wakes you up. I'd probably get my legs pressed on for sure.
And honestly, I have been in that position where there have been several times in my life where I've woken up to just having an apparition standing in my room, and all the times I can think of were very specific why they were standing there. At first it's very confusing, but they weren't touching me, thank God, because like if I'm sleeping, don't do that. But it's that clairsentience that kicks in, like, something's in the room, and you kind of come out of that you go into like hypnagogia state where you're like, okay, I know something's not right here. And the one that stands out to me the most of someone standing at the bottom of my bed, there's some good, there's a real stories behind those. So hopefully she's doing it because not just to be creepy, maybe she's actually doing it for a good reason. Maybe.
My guess is curious as to who's in these rooms. It would be, to me, if it's different guests coming in and out of the hotel, there's got to be a curiosity factor. And it also says to me this is maybe an intelligent haunt if it's being seen, So, and the ghostly presence will show up in photos as well.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. We got to go get our picture taken again.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's interesting. And now the second floor of this hotel is the one floor that I found that the staff fears the most. The second floor, the staff will often hear noises coming from vacant rooms. So if you're part of the hotel staff, maybe you're the cleaning or maintenance, whatever, and there's nobody in the room and you hear things happening in that room. Yeah. Of course, as a homeowner, my first thought goes into, are there mice in there? But, one guest was given a room on the second floor was asked to be moved to a different room because she said there was someone else already in there, even though nobody was.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, the laundry room of this hotel used to be part of an old casino back in the day.
Oh, wow.
I guess they had a casino that operated back at the start of this hotel. And so you will sometimes hear old-timey music.
Oh.
Much like that piano playing.
That's cool.
And the staff will often feel a presence. So if you can imagine being the one in charge of the laundry, now you feel a presence with you, maybe watching you, and then you hear the old-timey music.
That's cool.
Always good.
Not the worst thing.
Not the worst. Always good to have a little music playing while you're doing laundry.
Yeah.
Actually, I would be like, hey, you guys want to take care of this? I'm going to do something more fun. Are you guys get the laundry fairies? What are we doing?
Can you hit the rinse cycle for me? I'll be back.
Yeah, exactly. Can you hit this in the dryer for me? I'm going to
go. And of course, this hotel has its typical footsteps that people hear, disembodied voices, and of course, feeling a presence watching or following you around. But I thought that was an interesting place. You could still go there. The hotel has has a pool right where the original mineral, bath pool was, so you can go there and soak in the mineral water. So I think that wouldn't be a bad stop along the way. Get the healing effects of mineral soap, which is amazing. If you've never done it, I highly recommend. It's not the prettiest water because of the high content of mineral. It looks like you're in rust water, but it does feel amazing. And you float. Float, man.
Right. We have that here in Connecticut, right? We have We have Gay City State Park in Hebron, Bolton, Connecticut area. That lake is orange all year round, and it has high copper. It has high density minerals in it, and you'll go in there. So make sure you're not wearing a white bathing suit because you'll come out orange. But yeah, there is something to be said. Ryan, have you ever been to a mineral springs?
No, I haven't been to one.
Oh yeah. So not just Gay City, but up in Maine, you can go to the Tourmaline
Hmm.
Springs, and there's something to be said. I would imagine in any era here, when your body's lacking something and you climb into this mineral rich water, right? You're going to receive those benefits, and of course, you feel like $1 million. Um, because you're lacking those minerals, and now all of a sudden you've supplied your body with it, right? And
Right.
there, and of course, when you feel great, you're open for everything. You're just
Hmm.
going to be open. We'll have to take a road trip. Maine's not that far from here, and the Tourmaline Springs up there are incredible.
Yeah, the Saratoga Springs are amazing too. I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
that was one of the best things. I actually walked out with some of the mineral salts to just duplicate that in my own bathtub. So, yeah. All right, moving on. There is just a real quick, I just need to mention it, and you'll know in a minute why. In Carbondale, Illinois, I believe, Southern Illinois, there was once a post office, but right now it's called the BPL Plasma place. I guess it's for blood draw and whatever. In Carbondale, Southern Illinois, you will find a woman dressed in white.
Oh.
Yeah, the lady in white has been spotted floating in the lobby of this building. She's actually captured in photos standing behind employees.
Hmm.
It's
Well,
very, yeah, it's very common for doors to open and close on their own in this building. And there's a massive chandelier that will swing on its own. So it's one thing to have like a small light that might catch some air currents, but a massive chandelier. And
Hmm.
then one reporting of a night janitor who claimed he was locked in a closet. No one
Hmm.
else in the building, just him, and he was locked in a closet. So, yeah, not sort of like that, what was that? The bathroom of non-believers, where you get locked in the bathroom of non-believers.
Yeah.
For that, yeah. All right. Closer to Chicago, or actually in one of the suburbs of Chicago, is the Bachelor's Grave Cemetery in Midlothian, Illinois. This cemetery was established in 1847, and it's actually an abandoned burial ground. There's only 82 people buried there, so it's pretty small. It fell to vandalism. There's been occult rituals that have happened there, and apparently it's a site for mob body dumps.
Okay.
So isn't that lovely?
I was going to say, you must have found a lot of mafia related stories, probably closer to Chicago you got, right?
Well, this one actually, aside from that one reference of a location of a mob body dump, no.
Oh, wow.
There probably is for sure. I just didn't go down that route.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Isn't Chicago like home of Al Capone, right?
yeah, yes, and I certainly could have found all of those, kind of thing to talk
Yeah.
about, but I just kind of want to get something different. So this Bachelor's Grave Cemetery, which obviously is a cemetery for bachelors, but there are some women, I guess, buried here. So this is the story of this this cemetery. It's a small place, right? But it's witness to phantom cars, or carriages, a vanishing house, orbs that appear in daylight, and
Wait,
of
wait, wait, wait.
course,
The vanishing house? Like
a
this house
vanishing house. A vanishing
just
house.
appears.
Yeah, and disappears. I'll tell you all about it.
Wow.
And of course, of all of that, it has a white lady.
Okay.
White lady, yeah. She is said to have been buried next to her young baby, and she has been reported being seen wandering the cemetery carrying a child. She was first captured in a photo in 1979, and in 1991, There's an infrared photo that was taken by the Oak Lawn Ghost Research Society of this white lady. Yeah. So the Phantom Farmhouse, let me tell you a little bit about the Phantom Farmhouse on this area. It is a one-story Victorian home. It's white. It's got a porch swing and a picket fence, and it appears transparent, and it looks as if the windows are candlelit. It's got the flickering kind of golden light in the windows, like there's candles behind it. It shrinks and disappears as you approach it. It's reported to have look at Heather's like, what? It is
Are we doing some Harry Potter here? What are we doing?
I know, right? It's reported to have a mist around it as it fades in and out. So there's a mist that's all around it as it's fading in and out. Yeah. And it is, of course, there's a rumored legend that if you actually can walk into it, you will be cursed or whatever like that. But it has been known that you will see this house, a white Victorian one-story home. I didn't know Victorian homes were one story. I thought they were always multiple stories.
Yeah, I'm really trying to get my head around that too. How is a Victorian?
Yep. I don't know. Porch swing, picket fence. It's going to look transparent, maybe in a mist, and as you get closer, it just dissipates.
Wow. Maybe
All right,
like
we gotta go there.
Maybe the second story is just kind of hidden or something. It's I don't know, and that's why it looks one story.
I know.
But,
I don't. Yeah, it could be hidden in the mist. I don't
yeah.
know. All right. So here's another story. In 1870, related to this, adjacent to this cemetery. In 1870, a farmer was plowing his field, and his horse became startled. The farmer got tangled in the reins and dragged. The horse plunged into a nearby pond, and they both drowned. Tragic, right? Now you're going to see the ghostly figures of both on the surface of the pond, which is right next to the cemetery.
Oh, wow.
What?
This is some interesting plot of land going. Like, there's a lot going on.
Yep. And here's some more disappearing things. There is a ghost of a large black and tan dog that's sitting at the entrance to the cemetery. So you might see that dog, and you might also see this dog running down a path where it just fades away, fades into nothing.
I've seen that. I've seen that many times actually, where the animal is attached to its owner and goes and bees with that owner, or and I have seen dogs just run out into thin air because they stay where they lived, kind of thing.
Yeah. And it makes sense that it would be a dog protective sitting by the entrance to the cemetery. Sounds like a really interesting cemetery. Small, again, only 82 people buried there. It is open sunrise to sunset to this day. You can go and visit it. But police do come in the evening because it does get vandalized. And so I think if you're going to be there at night, you would need special permission, kind of thing. So that was interesting. And then the very last one I went down is a place called the Crenshaw House in Equality. It was built in 1842 by John Hart Crenshaw, who was a businessman who had his hand in pretty much any kind of business, banking, lots of different things. It was originally known as Hickory Hill, the house on Hickory Hill. Also, it has the name the Old Slave House, because it was used in the reverse Underground Railroad. So basically, free black people captured and then sold into slavery by this man, John Hart Crenshaw. So it is rumored that it is rumored he kept some of the slaves to work on the salt tracks that was owned by the Crenshaw businesses. The attic of this house is rumored to be a torture chamber that slaves were shackled up in makeshift shells and whipped. However, I did read somewhere that there was some more recent research that says it was more likely that those were hotel rooms, but it's got this reputation of the old slave house, and I guess it has been documented that this man did do this reverse railroad, underground railroad. In the 1800s, rumors started around this house of ghosts in the attic due to moans and screams that they would hear. Unbeknownst to them, those weren't ghosts. Those were very real slaves up in that attic, very real people that they were hearing. Yeah.
We can't rewrite history, but it's definitely good to talk about the history and the suffering, because now we can make better choices, and
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. In 1920, it reopened as a place for people to, tourist place to visit. You'll hear strange noises all throughout the house, especially the attic. It's also said that bloodstains appear and disappear on the walls of the attic. You'll hear chains rattling too. Ghostly shapes are seen. You're going to get areas of extreme cold even on the hottest days in August in this house. So that's another place I picked up on. And we often will find stories of hauntings of slaves like we did in the South that were kept on plantations and things like that, slaves. But this particular one is just so tragic because these were free people. Well, they were all free people before they were slaves, correct? So,
right.
Yeah, but there are so many more places and haunts and things, particularly in Chicago, that you could look up. I mean, there was one that I read about that used to be called the Murder Mansion, and it was basically a home. I forget the name of the guy. I could look it up again. But he had this home built like a labyrinth that had dead ends and staircases that went nowhere and rooms that didn't have, a way out. And he would use it basically to murder people in. He proposed it as a hotel. And of course, this whole mansion is knocked down and gone. But the plot of land is partially used by a post office and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stories around that and just some really macabre things, in Chicago. So, we could certainly just, maybe we should do, after Haunted America, the most haunted cities. Of course, we'd probably find so many of those, right?
Absolutely. What city wouldn't be haunted?
I know. I mean, it just goes to kind of show you that there is something there, right? With so many stories that are very similar. The music playing, the presence that you feel, people at the end of your bed, or whatever they are, these different places. How many different ladies in white, kind of thing. It can't just all be made up imagination stuff, There's a very real there behind these hauntings, right? That spirit world does exist, and whether it's residual or intelligent, it's still there.
Yep.
Yeah. So
absolutely. But I look at a lot of our history. I mean, the stories of the Egyptians, the story of the Anunnaki, the stories of, folklore and legend, they were real. You need to listen to the locals and the local tribes and the local people. Those stories were all real. They didn't just imagine, it wasn't just imaginary. So like dragons, right? They were real at some point for all the big stories they have. So this is no different. Like there is something to that. There is some basis there that it came up into this, all this way in time. So You're absolutely right. Very cool.
Yeah. Anyway, that's Illinois.
I just keep going back to that house. Like, I keep thinking that, how is that house appearing, disappearing? How does a house even disappear?
But I don't think it's any different than you see, you get these clairvoyant visions and you can see something and then all of a sudden it's not there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think it's very much sort of like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a house isn't just on its own this living being but there must be a lot of energy in that house, that farmhouse, for that to happen.
Well, I mean, technically it is living, right? I mean, they used live trees to build the home. I mean, if
technically it came from living things, sure.
Yeah. It's just all that energy, right? All the energy you put into your homes. And yeah. Speaking of this weekend, it happened again. I had a guest over for the weekend, and we were sitting there watching TV, and actually we were playing Mario Kart, and uh, all of a sudden you heard the go straight across the floor up the stairs, and the cat meowing in the loft area, and my guest was just like bug-eyed, jaw dropped, and just like gripping my chair, and she was like, what was that? And I was like, it's okay, it's just Serafina. And just as I said that, Serafina must have jumped in her lap, and she just put
Oh.
her hands up, and she was like, I don't know if I can stay here. I was like, you're good, it's just a cat. So this full moon is definitely helping Serafina make her presence known in her home.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, we didn't talk about what happened over the weekend. What about you, Ryan? We had Serafina visit Heather. Anything happened with you over the weekend? How was your weekend?
It was decent. Saw my parents for dinner, so that was good. But yeah, interesting thing. Like my phone randomly died. I think Mercury in retrograde. I don't know. Whenever that happens, I have a lot of issues with technology. I don't know. Maybe I just have bad luck at certain times throughout the year. But anyway, so
Well, you know how you can fix that, Ryan, is go onto YouTube and pull up the sound of Mercury
oh, there you go.
and listen to the sound and resonate with that sound, because
Hmm.
it might be uncomfortable at first because you're against it. Like it's like
Hmm.
two polar opposites. But if you listen to it and try to kind of meditate with the sound of it and the energy of it, you
Hmm.
might be able to kind of smooth that over.
Yeah. No,
You could
that's
find
a
a
great idea.
resonance with it, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you like mantras, maybe you can find a Mercury mantra that
Hmm.
it reminds your body that you can be in sync with it.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. But I will say, I mean, something good came out of it too. Like I was able to get a new phone just because it's a glitch with the company and they were able to send a replacement, which was nice. I didn't realize that was a thing, but it is. And but basically, I was able to get into the old phone and I went through like all types of files that I had on it for years that I didn't realize I had on there. And I'm like, oh, I found all these old songs that I wrote. And I'm like, you know what? I want to bring these back. So whenever our band starts performing again, maybe I'll be playing some old songs that I wrote like, 10 years ago. And
Nice.
yeah, it was pretty cool. I was like, wow, I forgot about these. So I do like to think everything happens for a reason. I try to find positivity as well. And yeah, that was nice to be able to find that.
Any of those songs include a harmonica?
No,
Okay.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It can. They can have
Okay.
harmonica in there. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
We could do that.
I, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Yep.
jam out with you.
Yep. Yep.
I've been taking harmonica lessons,
Oh,
so it's been
nice.
a lot of fun. Yeah, I can
Oh,
actually make it sound like a train now, so that's pretty cool.
there you go. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, happy to hear that.
Yeah, so it's going
Yeah.
really slow, but because I can't read music, so I have to do it by tone, you know?
Hmm.
And yeah, so yeah,
You'll get there.
if any of those
You'll get
pieces
there.
need a harmonica,
Yep.
I'm down.
Yep.
How
Yeah. Well,
about you, Lisa? What'd you do?
And family together. We try to get together once a month and just kind of be together, play some games. Totally creamed my whole family with a game Boggle. I usually do. I'm not allowed to count my score. You know, we'll do a round, and the highest score so far by everyone else is 19, and here I am with 78. So
oh wow. That's impressive.
I'm a grand champion of Boggle. So we play. I think my youngest son kind of chose Boggle to play just as a nod to me, just to give me a
A little
let's give
boost.
a little something. But just watching my grandson interact with my husband, because he doesn't get a chance to see him as often as I do, as I babysit, and that was kind of fun. And seeing him interact with his Uncle Kevin and Aunt Maggie is fun, and that kind of thing. And big news, I think this kid's gonna crawl soon. He's getting up on his tippy toes, he's on his knees, doing a little wiggling. He's just gotta take that first crawl step. It's gonna be, I'm gonna say, within a week.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, he just had a milestone, right? What is he? 8 months? 6?
9 months. 9 months.
9 months.
Wow.
2 days ago, 9 months. Can't believe it. Time goes so fast. Yeah. All right. So, are you ready? I found a Mercury in retrograde affirmation.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Thinking you don't have a choice is a choice.
Yes.
Ah.
Say it again.
Thinking you don't have a choice is a choice. So I guess, choose wisely.
That's right. Choose wisely.
Yeah.
You
Sometimes we
can
do.
in the
We
darkness
feel
or
we
go
have,
in the light.
yeah, sometimes we feel like there's just nothing we can do. But really, when you think there's nothing you can do, then that's your choice. You have nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
You were faced with a phone that went crap and you could have just thrown up your hands, but you found a workaround because you certainly were able to get in touch with us
Yeah.
without your phone. So,
Yep.
it
Yep.
worked.
Nice. Like it. All right. Well, until next time, everybody, stay ready to connect. And we look forward to our next episode with you. We'll continue to move on, right, Lisa? We're moving on up or moving on down. What are we doing? Which way are we going across the United States at this point?
I do
East,
believe we
west?
might still be in the Midwest or going across the Northwest maybe to come back down. We'll see. Well, actually, we will have to backtrack a little bit to hear a little bit more about Tennessee since you're heading down there and seeing what you can find when you're visiting with family.
Absolutely. I had a great conversation with a few people down there, and I have been alerted to some really great spots that are within driving range of where we're staying in Tennessee. So praying, because right now it says it's going to rain every day that we're there, but praying that we get some maybe moments of time where I can sneak out and go do some videoing and recording for what I'm going to bring back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So until
All right.
then, we stand ready to connect.
Thank you for tuning in to Ready to Connect. If you're interested in exclusive behind-the-scenes content, be sure to like, share, and follow us on social media by searching for Ready to Connect Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And for those looking to further support our podcast, consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/readytoconnectpodcast. And until next time, get ready to connect.